Barça! Barça! Barça!
Hello and welcome to Talk FCB, and welcome here to a big transfer update because there is some big news breaking from Barcelona. We have completed the signing of Brazilian youngster Malcom. He has officially signed for the club. It is signed, sealed and delivered. Roma thought they'd done it yesterday, but today we have somehow snuck in the back door, got Malcom in, and it is now official. He is a Barcelona player and has signed his contract. Everything is official and done. He will cost 41 million euros with the also addition of 1 million in variables. A lot of that payment as well will be paid up front. That was one of the big factors in the fact that Bordeaux wanted to go with us instead of Roma. We also paid 5 million more than Roma's original offer, but we have got the man that we wanted, or at least we think we wanted Malcom. Because of course in the lead up in the last few weeks, all we've been hearing about non-stop has been Willian, Barça, offer 1, offer 2, offer 3. It's been a constant reminder throughout the window really that have we really got our targets? Do we really know what we want in this transfer window? We'd been going after Willian. Chelsea were very intent and they didn't want to let him go. They've got a new coach in Sarri. He believes that he wants to have Willian in his team. Chelsea want to keep their star players, and that's why they continually rejected those 3 offers, if it is to be believed, from Barcelona. And here and now it seems like we've switched at the very last moment. It was almost too late, but we have gone for another Brazilian and a very different player. I think obviously in terms of their styles you can see some sort of similarities, but in terms of where they are in the stage of their career, Willian coming towards the end, 29 years old, turns 30 in just a few days time. Malcom meanwhile just 21 years old, clearly a very big talent, somebody who's rising star, up and coming, hasn't really reached the peak of course of his career yet, but he's still learning, and that's the road that we've gone down here. And I have to say on a personal level, I'm very pleased with this. I would much rather us go with these promising players with a view to the future, always looking at that bigger picture, instead of going and putting all our eggs in one basket with Willian, who wasn't really the kind of player and at the right stage of his career that we needed to bring in. And it's not just simply about the age difference between these two players. There was also a lot of difference in the price. We have paid 41 million euros for Malcom, but almost in a way that looks like cheap compared to what we were being quoted as for Willian. Chelsea were reportedly holding out for around 80 million euros if they were actually going to sell. We reportedly offered about 60, maybe even 72 million euros if reports in Spain and the UK are to be believed for Willian. All of those bids though were rejected, and we've ended up getting Malcom for nearly half the price of what we could have paid for Willian. So I think overall we've done the right thing. I think we certainly would have had a conversation with Malcom with regard to game time. A lot of people now are saying, is he going to get a lot of games? We've got Dembele in the same sort of position, but at the same time it would have been the same with Willian. I'm not really sure what system Valverde intends on playing next season. Obviously we've still got Messi, we've still got Suarez, we've still got those big hitters in the team in the attacking third, but clearly Valverde wants wingers. We've got Dembele, we've got Coutinho if he's going to play wide, which I do believe that he will next season, and then we've got Malcom as well now, somebody who's a different kind of player I think to Dembele. A lot of people think, they're very similar, but that's just because they're young, that's just because they're talented. I think actually in the characteristics, in the way that they play, there is a bit of a difference there. I think Dembele is much more of a creative player than Malcom is. Malcom is also creative, but I think Malcom looks to have much more of a view really of goal scoring. He does look to get in those dangerous areas, he does take on shots, he does score goals, and I've been really impressed actually watching him, looking at highlights from him as the seasons have gone by, and not only last season but the season before as well. He has been in very good form, particularly last season though with Bordeaux. He was really clinical in front of goal, particularly in the first half of the season. He had a really good time, and he actually does tend to play on that right hand side, much like Ousmane Dembele does, so that might be a potential interesting thing really to see how we slot them all in our team. I don't think all of them are going to be on the pitch at any given time, but like I say, Malcom, the fact that he's 21 years old, Dembele's still very young, we do have to look to the future, and it is good and very encouraging really that just about the board have done that. They were very close to after going down, I think, a very dangerous road with Willian, they did avoid that. We've got Malcom in, and we are getting someone who I think is a big talent. Somebody, of course, Brazilian, you know everything that comes with that, you know, the flair, the brilliance, very good on the ball. He plays from the right, like I say, but he is a left-footed player, so he is a very traditional winger in the sense that he gets out wide, he gets it on the right-hand side, and he does like to then cut in on his left foot, have some shots on goal, and he has been extremely accurate in recent seasons doing exactly that. Last season in the French League, 35 appearances in the top flight there, 12 goals and 7 assists in that time, and he really did have a good season for Bordeaux, and it's clear now why so many of the top clubs right around Europe really were interested in Malcom. There was certainly interest from the Premier League, there was big interest from Serie A as well, not only Roma, but also Inter earlier on in this transfer window. And I just want to run you through now basically the chaos that ensued with this entire Malcom deal. Like I say, earlier on in the summer, there was interest in the Premier League. Inter were very, very interested in going and trying to sign Malcom. Then it came out that Everton had actually agreed a fee. They'd agreed something with Bordeaux, but I don't think Malcom was too keen to go to Everton. He wanted something higher. He wanted to be playing Champions League football. And then Roma came in. They had the money from Alisson, of course. They sold him to Liverpool. Monchi, their sporting director, somebody that we know very, very well from his time at Sevilla. He came in. He straight away said, look, Malcom is the guy that we need. They gave €36 million offer to Bordeaux, and everything was done. They even announced on their official Twitter account, they say we've agreed a fee for Malcom. All that remains now is the medical and the signing of his contract. Then Malcom and his agent were basically on a plane planning on going to the capital, heading to Rome, and in the middle of all this, Barcelona show up. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know whether we got the message from Chelsea that no matter what we offered, maybe Willian wasn't for sale. Maybe it was a whole thing with a smoke screen. You just don't know. But at the end of the day, Barcelona at the very, very last second, and I mean that, it was so close to being all signed for Roma. We've snatched our way in. Obviously, a bit of a revenge in some ways for what happened last season in the Champions League. Although, I don't think anything, to be honest, could get revenge for that. So I won't get too in my head about ourselves there, but Roma were basically blasted out of the water by Barcelona. We came in not only with a higher offer, €41 million, but we also came in with Barcelona as the club that we are. Straight away, Malcom's head was turned. He wanted to go there. Like I say, I think there definitely would have been some discussions about playing time, where he was going to play, when he was going to play. All of that should have been ironed out. And now today, it is official. We have signed Malcom, official announcement from the club, and he will be presented very, very soon indeed in the coming days. And also, to add to that, he will then, once he's been presented as a Barcelona player, he'll go on tour to the United States to join up with the squad, get into the rhythm of Barcelona, establish himself under Ernesto Valverde. And I really do hope that we can see some big things, some encouraging things to come in the coming season, and in fact, the coming years. And obviously, guys, I haven't really found the time, to be perfectly honest, to do videos in the past few days. I'm just going to quickly go over that squad that is going to be heading to the United States for our tour there in the 2018 pre-season. Ter Stegen, Silasson, Semedo, Denis Suarez, Alcácer, Digne, Roberto, Gomez, Vidal, Arthur, Lenglet. So 2 new signings there in Arthur and Lenglet will be heading to America. Rafinha, Munir, Marlon, and then there's a few sort of B-team players, other players as well that are going to be going out there and trying to prove a point. Sergi Sampa will not be going now due to a knee injury, which is going to keep him home. Really sad about that he didn't get the chance on pre-season to show what he's all about. Echeta, Palencia, Cucurella, Mingueza, Cuenca, Miranda, Monchu, Collado, Ricky Puig, which is great to see there, and Abel Ruiz, Carlos Perez, Chumi and Balao all are going to be heading to the United States, and I think we're going to see all of them at some stage. Valverde clearly hasn't got a lot of options. A lot of the players who went to the World Cup are still recovering. They're still on their holidays. Messi is back in Barcelona, but he is still recovering and just getting himself up to speed ahead of the new season. Obviously, on that list are the likes of Andre Gomez, Lucas Digne, 2 players that the club actively want to sell in this transfer window, and basically what we're hoping is that they can go on pre-season, maybe in some of the more high-profile games, they can put in a good display, a good performance, and then maybe other clubs would want to go and sign them and pay the money that we are trying to get. There's been a few rumours as well with with Jasper Cillessen maybe leaving to the Premier League, maybe leaving Barcelona and seeking a first team role, a first goalkeeper role in another club. But what I would personally say on that is that I don't see it happening. Ortola, our third goalkeeper from last season, has signed for Deportivo La Coruña, and if Cillessen left as well, we would be left pretty light in the goalkeeping department and we would need reinforcements. So that's basically what's happening currently on the front of Barcelona. We have got Malcom. It came out of absolutely nowhere, and I do like those signings. I do like the signings that no journalist could see coming. We didn't see this happening. It was a massive surprise, but I think here we've got ourselves a very talented player, a very talented youngster, and I'm interested to see what he can do in the coming season, where he's going to play, and how often are we going to see him. Leave all your thoughts and your comments down below, guys. What do you think of the signing of Malcom? What do you think we're going to do in the remainder of this window? That's Arthur, Lenglet and Malcom all signed now. Is anybody next? And most importantly, who is going to be going out of that exit door? I will see you shortly, guys. But until then, as always, Vesca El Barça.